Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the Prismata Early Access. Absolutely. Currently on an account called Elon Musk, a Tia. Yes. This is a brand new account that I made. When the game went free to play, I wanted to make a new account for recording on. I wanted to show my progress through the ranked tiers. Currently tier 5, there are 10 tiers, and if you can get through the final tier, you become what is a Prismata Master. A bit like becoming legendary in other games. And then you get a rating once you get Master. So join me on my free-to-play adventure. Oh, this should be fun. Tia Thurnax. This is not a super expensive unit. It does cost a lot of green, 7 gold and a red. But the big cost is 7 drones. Additional cost. Consume 7 drones. But you get this monstrous dragon that deals 7 damage. It does only have 3 stamina though. You're only going to be clicking this 3 times, so when you buy it you are definitely going to be needing to lethal out your opponent pretty soon. That is definitely its function. 1 supply, ultra aggressive legendary. So I think we're both going to have to keep an eye on whether... It really affects the game. Even if like no one ever buys it the whole game, you have to keep checking what resources your opponent has, and if they do have the 3 green and the red, there's always that possibility. So you're gonna need to make sure that you can build defenses if they put it down. So even if it never gets bought, it always affects the builds that the players go for, which is why I like it. It's a really sort of interesting unit. In the set, we've also got Tyrannosmorcus, which we've seen before, and Chronofilter, which is a really cheap 1 supply unit. And that's because it's a tech building. It's actually a really cheap Blast Forge and Animus combined. Start of turn, you get 1 of each resource there, but then it doesn't do anything for a couple of turns. So a really cheap way to dabble in blue and red without having to commit to both a Blast Forge and an Animus, but the trouble is it's not very consistent. So although it's quite cost effective, it's often very awkward to use. 2 drones coming out. I could get it right now. That fits in really nicely with the build. But what would I do with a blue and a red? Not very much, really. I'd rather be building my economy next turn. Because I don't want to waste those resources. I'd have to make a Tarsier and a Steel Splitter, which I think is the only unit in the base set we haven't seen. This is basically just the ordinary blue attacker. And I think the reason we haven't seen it is because it happens to be one of the least cost-effective units in the game. So that's probably why it hasn't come up. It's funny, though, because that is... one of the first units you'll see in the tutorial, the Steel Splitter. Alright, what do we do with this 4 gold? I can make a Conduit and threaten the Tia Thurnax, or we can go with an extra Engineer. But that seems really weak against something aggressive, and Smorcus is there to enable that, and the Thurnax is obviously something we have to keep in mind. I think we should just get that Conduit, build up some green, threaten it, and maybe we can force him into building some extra Blast Forges that he doesn't need, if he's not careful. So even if I don't build it, even if I just get the 3 green and then build an Animus and make it look like I'm going to build it, he could set up some defenses, and that could be, yeah. So Prismata, a very reactive game. You always got to be playing sort of based on what your opponent might be doing. He's gone with the Forge. I think I'm going to build the Chronofilter, and this will give me some blue to defend against whatever he builds, and I can lay down a Tarsier as well, which is nice cheap attacker, get that going early on. We've also got Doom Drone in the set, so it's just a cheaper drone. The trouble is though, it dies after 4 turns, but it can smooth over your build. I think I'm going to need it next turn. Steel Splitter coming down. Alright. I'll build a wall. That defends. Lovely old job. Tarsier, drone, and we will get that 1 Doom Drone there. Not threatening Thurnax next turn as the Chronofilter is offline. But when it comes back online the turn after that, we will be. Which is probably why it's gone for this super early Blast Forge. Animus comes down. 1 drone, 2 drones, and an Engineer. I think he was wondering if he should instead make a Steel Splitter. He could get rid of one of those drones. Just going to waste the blue there. But that's fine for him. He realises there's not a lot of point adding a Steel Splitter in. It would bring his attack up to 2, but 2 would just be absorbed by a wall, so he might as well invest in something else for the time being. I'm going to make a Gauss Cannon, and next turn we'll still be threatening Tia. This was just a spare green, and we'll make an Animus and a Doom Drone, I think. We'll save that extra gold for next turn. Second forge coming down, respecting the Tia. But unlucky for him, now that he's done that, I don't think Tia is a very good move because it would consume 7 drones. So instead, we're just going to build a Smorkus, a Tarsier, a Splitter, and a Doom drone. Alright. Couple of Doom drones. Oh shit, what up? I don't have any blue coming in. The chrono filter's offline. That's really awkward. I should be okay though, because I can block on the steel splitter. I'll be fine this turn. I definitely need a forge, and I've got 3 green. I can make force fields for the time being. No? He has something else in mind. A couple of Doom drones. Maybe he realizes 2 blast forges, and then making the Thurnax was probably not a great idea, because he'd have no economy to spend all of this tech that he's just made. I think that's what he's thinking. He's in a bit of an awkward spot now. Yeah, I really think I've thrown him off. I don't think he was expecting this. He was like, Thurnax coming down. Yep, make 2 Thorges. Super prepared. Bring it at me. Oh shit, there's no Thurnax. Oh shit, now I've got 2 Forges. 13 seconds! Nerf drones. Okay. I don't want to click the Smorkus because I want to spend that red instead. 2 Tarsiers, a couple of Doomies, and I will build another forge. We can start getting those Colossus out. I think I'm in a pretty good spot to start doing that. So Colossus, 4 damage. 2 on the wall, 2 on the steel splitter. Colossus is 15 gold, quite an expensive unit, but click, gain 3 attack, so quite a strong attacker. But it's also a blocker with 8 life, so you can put 7 damage on it. It's fragile, it's not going to heal up, but you can absorb 7, it'll have 1 life, and then for the rest of the game you can just click it for 3 damage every turn. So it is quite, and that makes it quite a strong unit. Tia Thurnax. I think he realizes I want Colossus, and that I'm probably ahead and that he needs to make something happen. He can really start falling behind, so he's gonna go all in. Alright. What a great game for me. Lovely. Displays absolutely no emotion. I'm gonna give him the heart emoji. Cheer him up a bit. So the nice thing about Doomed mechs, Doom drones rather, is this one here's on 1 lifespan, and like ordinary drones, you can block on them. So just before they die, instead of letting them die, if you just block on them, they supply an extra life, which is a bit like an engineer. In fact, it's exactly like blocking on an engineer. And they cost the same, except an extra energy. And Doom drones, they can make gold over the course. So they're just strictly better than engineers. You could block on them immediately. Well, they cost energy, so they're not strictly better, but 2 walls here. I will actually have to defend on this steel splitter. And nice, we are all done there. We'll click this, and I think I will make 1 Doom drone, and we're going to need more engineers for next turn. Trouble is, though, the chrono filter is offline next turn. I'm only going to have 1 blue income. I guess that's fine. We do have quite a lot of green. We can make force fields. We can hold out. I think, though, actually, an engineer will be better than the Doom drone. But I'm going to need that defense immediately next turn. 5 damage. So Thurnax can block for 3 as well. But the more interesting thing is that it does 7. So we've got to outlast this stamina. Once we go run it down, once that hits 0 stamina, I'm hoping my superior economy will pull me through. Hopefully I don't have to destroy too much of it making force fields. Thankfully, though, that is what he's doing. 13 incoming. Rip walls. We'll kill this Doom drone. There we go. Same again. Leave this one here. 1 wall. And that's... I can't do really anything else. So force field. Force field. I'll make a Smorkus just to spend both the red and a couple of engineers. Oh, actually, why don't I just click this Smorkus and make more engineers? That seems quite strong. Three, 4, 2. And I think I'm absolutely fine now. We can hold this Doom Drone again. A couple of walls, and that's defense sorted. We'll click the Rhino. Engineers. Nice. Cool, down to its final charge. And he can't defend. He's not got enough economy to make any more defense, and I've got 8 damage. That did not go well for him. I reckon I would have just straight up lost if I'd made a Thurnax. Okay, he can defend, but he has to cancel the wall to free up enough money to make force fields, and that's brutal. That's just the last of the little economy he does have. Yeah, if I'd made a Tia Thurnax into these 2 blast forges, I would surely have lost. But this worked out quite nicely. Cool. And we'll just build up behind this, I think. Make a splitter here. One of these. And next turn, he's got nothing. Well played. I think he just got caught out early on. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And jump into Prismata. Yes, it's free to play.